Tonight we have something special. We have, we're gonna have grouper piccata, and then we're gonna have on the side, we're gonna have some cilantro rice, Zatarain cilantro rice. I'm gonna put some extra cilantro and some of my better than chimichurri sauce in here, and zucchini noodles on the side. So we're gonna have zoodles and grouper piccata and cilantro rice for dinner. So I'll take you through all this so you can see how I make it. All right, we got our grouper is ready. We're gonna flour this up and then let the flour stick to it for a while so it gets nice stuck to it. So this is what I'm using. I'm using this is gluten-free, measure for measure flour from King Arthur brand. All right, this is the best gluten-free flour. Don't use anything except this if you're making something gluten-free. You could use regular flour if you want, but this works just like regular flour. So it fries good, it sears good. If you want to make cakes or waffles or whatever, this is the stuff to use. All right, so I'm gonna put some of this flour in here. I'm gonna put in some Italian seasoning. All right, a nice portion of Italian seasoning. I'm going to put in some garlic powder. Nice portion of garlic powder. I'm going to put in some onion powder. I'm going to put in some white pepper. And then I'm going to put in some fresh ground salt. And some fresh ground black pepper. So I go ahead, I can mix that up so that this flour is nice and seasoned good. It has everything in it. You can see how nice and seasoned it is. And then I'm just going to take some of my grouper, put it in there, and coat it really nice with flour. Alright, so I got some grouper here. I'm going to put this in, get my other grouper, do the same thing. Make sure it has a nice coating of flour on it. Look at this. Make sure there's no wet spots on here. Back down. This here. You can see there's some wet spots. You can put a little flour down there. Okay, that's nice coated. Take a look. This is good. No more wet spots anywhere. All right, so I'm going to let this sit here for about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes. And then what I'm going to do is go ahead. This is gluten-free seasoned breadcrumbs. It's got a pecorino romano cheese in it and Italian seasoning and stuff. You can see all that stuff in there. So now I'm going to mix this in with my flour. And I'm going to crack a couple eggs in here. So you don't need to do this, right? I could just do this. But when I was down in Florida, Gulf Shores of Florida, there's grouper everywhere. Grouper everywhere. Fried grouper sandwiches. And they had a fried grouper piccata at Guppy's in Indian Shore down by Clearwater, Florida. And it was fantastic. But it wasn't just lightly seared. It was nice and crispy. It was fried. So that's what we're gonna do here. Is we're gonna recreate that I had at Guppy. So it is grouper piccata, but it's gonna be crispier and crunchier than your typical piccata that just has a nice flour sear on it. So here we go. So I'm gonna mix this egg up a little bit. You see I mixed in, this is the flour I had before with all the seasoning, and I put those breadcrumbs to make it crunchier. All right, so now I'm going to take my grouper. I'm going to douse it in here. I'm going to put it in here. Now I'm going to do the same thing I did before. Put that there. Throw a little flour down there. So it's sitting on top of the flour. Okay. So this was done double. All right, so here we go. Put that there. If you see some egg, you can add that to it. This is going to sit here again. So now this is going to be done. This is stuck to it nice. The flour stuck to it nice. Get a little more egg in there. A little more egg wash. Let's see. Put this in here. This one's going to be triple done. It'll be nice and crispy, but there we go. I don't need that much egg wash. What's going on there? Alright, so make sure that this is all coated nice. Alright, so I got egg on here, but I want to make sure that that egg is coated nice with the flour and the breadcrumbs. I could even leave this sitting here for a second. Alright, I got some extra egg. Pull that off. All right. So now I put this one back, and now these are ready. I'm just going to let these sit and let them breathe and let it get all nice crusted in before I fry it. So it's going to sit here for a while. And this is my grouper, all breaded with the seasoned flour and the seasoned breadcrumbs. And this is ready to pan fry, and then I'll do my noodles and do my rice. Go ahead and start my rice now. Okay, I got my zucchini noodles have all been spaghettified, so I got my zoodles. They're just sitting here waiting. I'm gonna put in here. I got basting oil with garlic and Italian seasoning. Okay, so that's going in, this is olive oil. It's going in this pan where the zucchini's going. So put that in there. And then all I got to do is cook that up and stir it up. So that's fine. And now in this pan, for my grouper piccata, I'm going to start this with a Sicilian lemon flavored extra virgin olive oil. Okay, so if you didn't have that, you could just use regular olive oil, and you could get a lemon. You could just zest it into there. You could do a little lemon zest into your olive oil, give it a nice little lemony flavor. But since I have this one, I don't need the zest of the lemon. That's fine. I don't have to. So I'll just go like this. This is really great flavor. All right, so I'm going to add a bunch of this lemon flavored olive oil. I'm going to put in a little bit of butter. And remember, this pan over here, I added the basting oil, garlic. So let's start this. Let's turn this on. Want this butter to melt. Got a stick of butter. So I got my olive oil in there and my butter. We're going to use this pan to create the sauce. So let's go ahead and get that started. I got a little bit of some minced garlic in here, so I'll put a little in there. I'll put some in later. A little flavor. All right, this is starting to sizzle up. All right, got some garlic in there. I got some lemon zest in there. I got my lemon olive oil in there. All right, so let's go ahead. Here's my breaded grouper. Remember, I got that in there. So this is nice and sizzling. All right, I got some extra flour in there, so I'll go ahead, go like this. There's one of my groupers. And there's the other one. All right, so we got this going. I'll let this sit probably about 4 minutes on one side, and then flip it over 4 minutes on the other. All right, as this is cooking, I could do this with the olive oil to get some up on the sides, and then I could take a look, see how this one's doing. Starting to get there. Okay, that looks good. All right, so now I'm going to flip these over. So I want to be careful when I do this. I don't want to break the breading off, so, and I don't want to burn myself. Okay, that looks good. All right, that looks good too. All right, good. So we got it flipped over good. Now I'm going to do the same amount of time on this side. I'm going to turn it down to medium because the oil's kind of hot. I don't want to get it too hot. I don't want it to burn the breading. And then I'm just going to let this sit until the other side has this nice color on it also. Now I don't have to worry about cooking this all the way through because we're going to make our sauce in here, and then I'm going to put this back in and we're going to cook it with the sauce for another 8 minutes. So it'll cook through at that point, if it isn't already cooked, but it's getting cooked as it is. Now let's take a look. Oh, this side's starting to look good. Yeah, this side looks good too. All right, so we're gonna take this off. I'm gonna put it on here. Gotta flip it over again. See, that looks nice on top of that. Do this side, flip it over. That looks nice on top of that too. Put that down. Remember, I wanted this nice and crispy. I'm gonna put a little, this is chicken broth. I'm going to put this down on low. Alright, I got some more butter to put in there. I'm going to carefully add, I got some white wine here. I don't want to start a fire, so I'm going to be careful when I do this. That's why I wanted to add the chicken broth first. Was because if I'd added the wine, the alcohol as it flamed up there would cause a flame. So I added the chicken broth. So I got my butter, I got my chicken broth, and I got some capers. So I got these. I washed them so they're not as salty as they can be. I put these in here. So I got my wine, I got my chicken broth, I got my butter, I got my capers, I got the juice of 2 lemons, put that in there. I can turn this up to medium again, I want this to get hot again. And now I got, this is the rest of my garlic, so I'll put my garlic in there. Alright. Mix that around. Now I'm going to start simmering this. I could throw a little bit of my Italian seasoning in here. Give it some good flavor too. Alright. So that's that. Now I'm gonna let this cook down a little bit. And cook all together. Now I'm starting this. It's time I can start my pan over here for my zoodles. Spread around this garlicky Italian seasoned basting oil. I got all my seasoning on here. I got some fresh garlic in here. I got some Italian seasoning. I got some garlic powder. I got some onion powder, some salt and pepper all in here already. So when this gets hot, I'll just put that in there. Oh, look at this, looks nice. I'm gonna lower this a little bit so it's starting to simmer. I'm just gonna let it cook a little bit. I'm gonna add a little bit more chicken broth. Now you don't have to do this, but I always like my Marsala or my chicken French or my Piccata. I like my sauces to be a little bit thicker and creamier. So I have some cornstarch in here. I'm just going to add that to it, and then I'm going to bring this back. It's going to have a nice thickness. I'm going to keep this simmering. All right, this is nice and hot. I can add this. Add my zoodles. All right, stir those up. I like my zoodles just partially cooked. I don't like them cooked too much. Okay, I'm going to turn this down to medium because I don't want my zoodles overcooked. I like to stir it up real good so all the olive oil and all the seasoning gets all in there. All right, this looks good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my fish back in there just like I said. So remember, I like this nice and crusty like that. That's how I wanted this. Nice and crusty. And this is how it was. And I could take a spoon. I can put some of this liquid over the top of it. All right, so now we're just going to let this cook. We're going to let this cook for 8 minutes. And then we're going to turn this off in a second because this is almost done. Look, it's getting nice. Like I said, I don't need it to be too overcooked. I don't want it overcooked. So there. This will be turned off. This is going to cook like this for 8 minutes in the piccata juice. See, this is just starting to get a little bit thicker because of the cornstarch in it. And I could just keep pouring some of this over the top so it soaks into that breading. I don't want to move this fish around too much because the breading will come off, might start to fall apart, but I can put some of this on top. That's okay. This sauce is getting nice and thick, just the way I want it. All right, I'm gonna start getting some ready. I got my cilantro rice. So this was Zatarain cilantro rice, but I could have used white rice. I put fresh cilantro in it, and I put my 2 tablespoons of my Better Than Chimichurri sauce in there to give it more flavor. But I could have done that with just white rice. I could have put my Better Than Chimichurri sauce in there, maybe about 4 or 5 tablespoons, and then put in fresh cilantro and cooked it that way myself. Yeah. Put some of these zoodles up here. You can see these zoodles are nice. They're not overcooked. All right, let's go ahead, and this one's ready. So let's take it out. Put it right on top of my zoodles. And then take a whole bunch of this sauce over the rice. Sauce over the zoodles. Oh, that smells fantastic. I don't know if you've ever had piccata. I love grouper. You could do this with cod. You could do this with any type of fish, and you could do it with chicken, obviously. Let me see how this looks. Oh, look at this. I'm going to cut this here, and then I'm going to... This is cooked all the way through. And this looks delicious. Take a piece of this right here. Right here. Look at this. Mmm. This is fantastic.